Good day, everybody. My name is Helenique Argeru, and today I'm joined by Sheena Carter. Welcome, Sheena. Lovely to have you.
Thank you very much for having me here.
So Sheena is actually a high-performance mindset mentor, and she really helps people develop their wealth and their mindset to money and really ways to make a difference and to actually have fun while you're doing all that. She works alongside Bob Proctor. Some of you might know Bob. He's quite famous by now as someone that really pulls out the most essential piece of information you need to actually take action. And he is running an institute called the Proctor Gallagher Institute, which Sheena works alongside with. But today we meet the woman and her personal truth. And as you all know, this is Woman of Truth interviews which come to you all over the world with women from all over the world, global female leaders and awakening women that really have something to share with us about personal truth. So Sheena, tell us a little bit, if you can, about this wonderful life of yours. I had a quick chat with you before we started, and you are a person that sounds like you're very switched on and inspired by life, and you found what you were looking for in your life's journey. And I wonder if you can take us back to something that was pretty life challenging for you and what it actually taught you. What kind of life lesson came out of it?
Yeah, well, it was probably about 2.5 years ago now, and I'd left corporate 5 years ago to become self-employed. And one of the things you realize when you become self-employed is you end up with a job 24/7. There's no holidays, there's no sickness, and you go, oh, I didn't think this was a good idea. So, but then, you're taught that the more qualifications you have and you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and you do your miracle mornings and you work harder, that you're going to get all these results. And so you do everything that everybody says that you do. And so I studied myself, I studied to master's level in business and coaching and NLP and in Reiki. I mean, I just did absolutely everything. So I had more qualifications than I'd ever had. I was working harder than I'd ever had, but I actually went that way. And before that, I was going that way because I was enjoying life. I became very serious and all of a sudden thought I had to work 10 times harder. And so I lost everything. That's when, the house goes, the car goes, my kids, I know that they're 21 and 27 now, but that was still something that was so precious to me to be around them. And they had to go different places. I had horses and dogs and cats. And whenever you're driving down the motorway in a white van and, you've got the couch, that's it, literally, a couch was left. And I thought, wow, isn't this where people are afraid? This was what I was afraid would happen. And now it's happened. And I've lost everything. But actually, it was in that moment that I realized I actually had everything because my kids still love me. I had a wonderful partner. I could drive the white van. You know what I mean? It was just like, it was an absolute life-changing moment, just going wow. But then reality smacks you in the face again and you've got to get yourself out of there. And the weight of failure was so immense for about 18 months, just that weight. And so even though I do, I'm a Gallup certified strength coach as well, so I'm positivity number one. And even though your mindset can be positive, and I'm sure people relate with this, that your mindset is positive, you've done all the readings, you're spiritually growing, but your physical body feels like the weight of the world is on it. And that's exactly what I felt for about 18 months. But to get out of that, what I did was basically just set a routine. I would still get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I would still work my job. I would still do everything. I would exercise. I would do my gratitude. I had a massive goal and I attached it to the biggest why ever, so that if I ever thought one morning, I don't want to get out of bed, I would go, oh, right, so your kids don't matter then, do they? Your grandkid doesn't matter. And I would literally shock myself out of bed so I could keep going and keep doing it. And eventually your body does rise. But it depends on the, like the programming that maybe we've had from our great uncle or parents, whatever body we've landed into and whatever programming that we've picked up, that sometimes can be so overwhelming, but you can change it. Mine took a little bit longer. Some people can change it a lot quicker. That was my journey over about 18 months and that's what led me to Bob Proctor, because I knew everything else, but what was it? And it was literally a paradigm shift. It was shifting the programming that was in my body, and I really needed to understand how to do that. And so yeah, I went to Bob and started studying with Bob.
Beautiful. And you obviously have existed in the corporate space long enough to know that that's another version of how to be successful, or how to have a certain kind of respect and appreciation in society, and to be contributing, to the world. And then you have this experience that you're in now, where you've, really shifted your programming to be able to create something totally different in a totally new way. If we go back behind the scenes into you as a little girl when you were really young, I'm just wondering what you were like. And if you were 8 years old and you know now what you know, what would you tell your 8-year-old little girl?
I remember there's two things that I remember about. It's actually about the age of 10. So whenever I was 10, I was Northern Ireland Irish dancing champion.
Wow.
I don't remember that because I was programmed to dance. I was programmed, and I literally do not remember. It was only about, I think, 10 years ago when Mummy said that to me, and I went, was I? Was I that good? And she goes, yes. And I'm like, I don't remember that.
Wow.
But that same year, I was number 1 in pony camp. Now I remember that.
Right.
The horses were my absolute passion. The Irish dancing was something I did. And, that's one of the things that follow your passion, no matter what, follow your passion and stop listening to. So as we grow through our energy centers, so we all, whether you believe them or not, there's energy centers we grow through every 7 years. And one of the ones that we get to whenever we're 14 and 21 is our power center. And at that age, that's the age that we hand our power over basically to what anybody else wants to criticize about us or what the world wants to say. And we just basically go like this and hand over our power. If I could go back and if I could be brought up the way Bob Proctor teaches, to be told you are the universe's highest form of creation. You are God's highest form of creation. You are life itself. You are so powerful. Your thoughts will become things. But it's not just your thoughts, it's your feelings. It's about embodying those feelings and to really. And when you're following your passion, so I no longer did the Irish dancing because suddenly I became aware one time that I went, I don't want to do this. It was like I grew up. It's like I shifted, but all I wanted to do was horse ride. And I see so many people who don't follow their passion. They follow what other people say, what they've been told to do, that this is a good job, do this, do this, do this. And then by the time I speak to them, so I'm 51 now. And when I speak to people who are my age, they've forgotten how to dream. Those dreams you were doing when you were younger, that's how to dream.
Yeah.
Dream freely, dream without the money, dream the feelings and go to sleep like that at nighttime and be like a child again, stay like a child. When I was 8, I felt special. Then you get married, life happens to you, things happen, and you just, the speciality, the specialness gets wiped out in one fell swoop. It's to please remember that you really, truly are special and you are so unique. It's like there's nobody else like you and every hair in your head has been counted. You were chosen to be here. Imagine growing up thinking that. Just imagine.
Yeah, it's so powerful. And I think the experience of being a child is so fascinating that it is built into the design of life that you get it before you get everything else. So it's almost like you get this imprinting of what it's like to be so innocent and pure and touched by joy. And then, yes, it gets ripped away in so many ways, but you have it, and there's some very powerful meaning to be able to return to that through the imagination. So I totally get what you're saying. And I'm wondering now if we can would draw out of you as a woman that's lived into your 50s now. You've had lots of experience through the world meeting different women, and so Women of Truth is also really designed to help women tap into a deeper truth about their own grace, spiritual legacy, their own power, and really offers different ways for that to happen. But not just because we're women, but because we're amazing human beings like everybody is. But if we look at the way women grow and develop in the world, there seems to be a lot of things that we can sometimes get stuck in. So this question I ask all my guests now so far, it's almost 80 people that I've asked this of, and everybody has some interesting version as an answer, and I'm interested in yours. And the question is, what do you think is the biggest lie women believe, and what's the truth?
That it's not just women. I think everybody believes that we're separate, that we are independent, and that we are responsible. We make things happen. When I say to people, who thinks that they're independent here? And people put their hands up and I go, okay, so the cup of tea you made this morning, where did your tea come from? Where did the tea bag come from? Where did the water come from? Where did the kettle, the electricity? Everything that you do today is because of other people that are around you, and that we're all interconnected. And that when we can truly understand that life is not about competition, about being better than somebody, it's you are unique. And isn't it funny how we want to look normal, we want to look similar to somebody else, but if you just, in the time whenever there are crowds again, just sit there and look at how different everybody is. Like, there's not two people who look the same, unless they're twins, obviously, but there's not two people who look the same. So it's about really embracing that uniqueness and stop trying to be like somebody else, or trying to compete with somebody else, or think that somebody else is better or that you're better. Because when we truly understand that, like, we're co-creating now, aren't we? Because we're like, and Zoom's helping us co-create, but there's all the people behind Zoom who are doing the work behind the scenes, and the internet and the computer and the beautiful flowers that you've got behind you. Like, all those people have been involved in us being here today. So stop asking somebody else's opinion about what you want to do, because you have whatever's inside you. When you ask somebody else, you're just putting doubt out into the world, and then you will get that back again. And so know what feels good for you, and that you are unique, but we're all here working together. We're all co-creating together. And for women especially, and I'd lost this growing up, I grew up with two brothers, and it was almost shameful to be a girl. Like, if I was girly, my brother would say to me, "Don't be such a girl." And I'd forgotten how to be a girl.
Yeah.
And embrace my femininity, but I can still use my masculine energy when I want something done. But when you're in a relationship, allow a man to be a man, and allow a woman to be a woman. And I'd forgotten all that. I was so used to grabbing the door and opening it myself. And because I can do anything, I don't need help. It's whenever you just sit back and allow your partner to open the door, you go, oh yeah, this is being female. This is the absolute pleasure of being female, and embrace it, but also embrace your strength that comes from that vulnerability, that femininity. Peter Mork, so I'm also with Arbonne Network Marketing, and Peter Mork was the founder of that. And you know what he said? He said, if we make enough women millionaires in the world, we will create a wonderful future. Like, how awesome is that?
That's so beautiful. So there's so many different things that I could ask you now from what you've said. And I'm also really interested to give you a chance to just tell us what you think about all these movements that are out there in the world right now that are helping people crack the glass ceiling, or think in a new way, or develop a different kind of program towards life, like to live life on purpose, I call that. So what do you think about all of them? And is there anything you would add or highlight to help people sift through the choices and focus in on what's really important?
Well, for me, it was definitely to go to the gurus. If Bob doesn't know the answer, like, he's been doing this the longest, he's 86 years old, and he's the longest in the personal development scene at this moment. And so if he doesn't know, but there are people out there that you will resonate with, and you have a journey of growth. And so follow what gets you excited. And if a program is going to cost you, 1,000, then spend 1,000. If it's going to cost you 6,000, then spend 6,000. For me to go and work with Bob was obviously an awful lot more. I didn't have the money at the time, but there was something burning inside me that just went, do it, follow it, do it. Just follow your passion, follow the fun. Stop following logic. There's nothing inspiring about logic. Logic is keeping you trapped where you are. So do the illogical and just do things that are stupid and have people laugh at you, because at least you made them laugh. Do you know what I mean? We need more laughter in the world and more fun. And I'd said become so serious in corporate and then so serious outside corporate. And I'd forgotten the joy, the pure joy of just allowing me to be me and following where that takes me. So Bob Proctor is going to be right for some people, and maybe Tony Robbins or somebody's going to be right for somebody else. But here's the thing, it's like the center of town. It's all the same when you get there, but we're all going to come at it from different angles, you know? And so I just had a client who's she says, you've done your work, Sheena, you've been the best mentor. She says, it's time for me to move on. Because what we realized is she'd got to the center of time. She'd got there and she was now ready to evolve in a whole different way of her own making, but she got to the center. And that's where we're all aiming to get to, first of all, when we can really truly understand how amazing we are. And then that's when we start to really, really blossom. So follow your passion and follow whatever it is that you feel.
Such a beautiful message from you, Sheena. Thank you so much for spending time with us. We're going to end with our traditional closing 3 words, either connected or separate, that are like a gift, like a blessing, like a prayer, and a way for others to remember you and your wisdom. 3 words for women of truth watching you today.
Oh, wow. The first one that comes up is gratitude, joy, and wow. I want to throw in horses. That's my passion. Horses.
Beautiful. So gratitude, horses, and joy.
Joy. Yeah.
And is there any way that people can reach you if they want to know more about you and your deep connection to the work that you're doing in the world now?
Yes, absolutely. Sure. I'm the only Sheena Kantar on LinkedIn and on Facebook, so I'm easily found. And also, I don't know if you'll be able to put this on, a free gift that literally is from Bob Proctor, and it's worth $147. It's called The Paradigm Shift, and it's 3 days of Bob. One of the things that I realized, when you want to make a change, it's like rewiring yourself. Yeah. So what most people try and do is they've got an old house and with old wiring. First of all, you need to think about, well, what is it I want to do? What new equipment do I want to put in that house, so that we know exactly how much of rewiring that we need to do. And then we can do the rewiring, so then we can start to add the things in. And that's what the paradigm shift is supposed to do, is to literally rewire your brain so that you can make that shift to be able to have all the things. Don't be putting new things on old wiring, because you just get frustrated. Change the wiring. So I'll give you that as a free gift. And
that's
yes,
a beautiful gift. Wonderful for us. We are running a summit right now called Paradigm Shifter. So isn't that a perfect synchronized interview gift for us? Thank you so much for sharing that. So everyone, you can get that off this video, and you can reach out to Sheena on LinkedIn. Thanks so much, Sheena. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.